The Flash 786. This is Jeremy Adams writing with Amanke and Hulpin on the art. This is back to being a Dark Races tie-in for one issue. Interestingly, I did not see that coming. I probably could have if I'd remembered to solicit text, but I did not know that going in.
Nope.
So we actually have a bunch of other characters here at the start. We have the GSA, we have the Titans. Everyone's going to split up and deal with the different armies that Deathstroke's got kicking around. Now, to be honest, the Dark Crisis tie-in of this is basically just a setup for what's going to happen with the Flash family. It's not really that important or that essential to Dark Crisis, so no one has to worry about it. But the Flash family are going to speed around, Linda included, who gets a costume from Mr. Terrific, are going to speed around and just deal with some of the villains that are up to no good during Dark Crisis. That said, though, before we go into that part of the issue, I have to talk about one of my favourite moments of the week. There's a moment here between Damian and Iray, which then brings in Cass and Steph, which popped me so much. So basically Damian walks into the scene and looks down at Iray and says, "Kid Flash, who is this, Baby Flash or Flash Baby?" And Iray just sort of gives him a stern look and says, "My mom says people are mean because they're trying to make up for not feeling as good as everyone else." And the way that Steph and Cass are drawn in the background with their masks on, just looking up like, oh shit,
nothing to see here.
Yeah.
Like, ooh, yeah.
And then Cass or Steph kneels down in the next panel and says, "Hi, my name's Stephanie, and this is Cass, and we'd like to be your best friends."
Yeah.
As Damian storms off, oh my god, I was howling at this
with his
sequence of panels. Yeah.
Yeah. Oh man.
The idea of Steph and Cass thinking Iray's great because she gives Damian shit is just a wonderful little
she's sassy.
gag.
Like,
it's great.
She fits right in.
Yeah, so funny. And then it pays off a little bit again later as well. When they all go off and there's this 2-page layout of like there's 2 plots running down either side of the 2-page layout with the Flash family running in the middle. You've got one side, you've got Damian dealing with what's that villain's name?
He's Shaggy Man or the General, depending on what version.
Yeah, that's the one. So you've got basically Iray saves Damian from getting smushed. And Damian's like, "I had it under control." And she goes like, "The proper response is thank you." And then Steph just turns to Cass and goes, "She's the best."
Yep, and then Cass, the best.
Yeah, so good.
And then on the opposite side, you have Jay constantly going to Arsenal, and Roy, "Why are you wearing a hat?" And that killed me too.
Yeah, so superheroes don't wear hats. It's just not, not even the hat, like a ball cap specifically.
Yeah, this one does. Also, getting to see Emmy, that's good. Like, anytime we can see her, I'm a fan of.
Oh, sure, yeah. So, I mean, if it wasn't clear already, this is just a really delightfully fun issue. This, I mean, I think Adam's run on Flash doesn't have the weight that Taylor's Nightwing run does, but it does have the feel-good side of it. So it's not as good, but the more it's went on, the more I've come to kind of love this run and really enjoy what it's doing with the characters.
Just like with Tom Taylor, you can tell there's an appreciation of the character. Yeah. Right? That Adams really loves Wally, and it comes through with all of this,
Yeah, and loves Wally's family, loves like all these, the characters. So it's nowhere near as good as Nightwing's because it doesn't have the same weight to it, but it does have that respect for the history, and clearly there's just a lot of fun being had, like having these characters in this situation, having the kids have their powers and interact. Obviously, there's a great callback here to earlier in the run where they run into Animal Man and Animal Girl who are fighting Mula and some gorillas from Grodd's camp. And Iray's so excited to see her, and they're both excited, and they team up a little bit. I love that Jay and Maxine have got these like hello arch nemesis, which for the record just feels like okay, so they're going to be a couple at some point, right? Like they clearly have a crush on each other. I'm calling it now. I'm getting some Xander Cordelia like chemistry coming from this. So no, just delightful. Like just it's kind of a great set. So they end up fighting some Nazi zombies at one point from an old Nazi bunker. And Power Girl teaches Jay how to thunderclap, and he's like so excited about it. Like it really is just a nice little like run through a bunch of different like heroes and villains to interact with as we get good banter from the characters. So if someone read this and said, yeah, it's a little hollow though, and I'm like, you know what, you're probably right. It is kind of just a saccharine sweet issue of nice character moments, but I kind of enjoyed it for what it was.
There's a low-key one that I enjoyed too, is that when Jesse Quick sees her husband, sees Rex, and greets him because she hasn't seen him in a while. That was another one that I thoroughly enjoyed. Oh no, Rick? Is he Rick? Who's Rex? Frickin' Rex. Those are the Hour Men. I always get them confused. But
I don't remember
she
which
hugs
one
her
it is.
husband.
Yeah.
She hugs her husband, and that was a really nice moment too. Like, again, you can tell that he cares. But yeah, the thunderclap moment with Power Girl, I thought that was a lot of fun. And same when we get into the bunker and Clarion the Witch Boy's there. And his magic doesn't work because, you know, Wally remembered to use these sigils to stop him. I thought that was a lot of fun.
I kind of love that panel of Wally grinning as he's like explaining that he's got these from like his magic friends.
Yep.
I don't know, it's just something kind of like shit-eating grin about it that I kind of like. So yeah, it's just a really delightful time of like the family all going out and doing this together. So it's not really a tie-in. It's a tie-in in the sense that the reason that all these villains are out doing this is loosely, they say, oh, this is because Deathstroke's like army's out doing this stuff, but that it's like so loose. It's not really a tie-in. It's just an excuse to have them go around and interact with all these villains and heroes. But it's really delightful. Like, I really had a great time reading this. I'm probably only going to give it a 7 because I do admit that it's kind of hollow in the sense that there's not a lot of other things going on. There's not a lot of weight to it. But
I read this early and I forgot that I had read it, and so I went back to read it. Because I'm like, I remember starting it, and I was like, oh yeah, no, I read this in one go, and that's why I forgot.
Yeah.
So yeah.
Yeah. Although we should mention there is a tease for the future. There's a little voice that pops in at the end saying you aren't fast enough, Flash. What's coming for you? For the chaos, for the fraction, blah blah blah. It also says at the bottom, next month in the Flash, Wally becomes a pro wrestler.
Yep, I'm very excited.
So, you know, good luck to that.
So I'm wondering if that voice that was talking to him has to do with the 60-second war.
Yeah, maybe they're teasing that. Yeah, maybe they're...
because that's why he's not fast enough to stop something.
Because that's starting in, what, November? December, maybe? I think maybe December. So we've got a couple of issues before we start that.
Yeah. So, but yeah, we get I'm drawing a blank. Linda.
Yes.
In her Flash costume, it's a pretty nice amalgamation of other heroes. You know, it's got like a J style. A
lot of Jesse Quick vibes I got from it as well.
You know, Jesse's goggles and stuff. So it looks pretty cool. And a teasing of a new name for Irie, which I'm excited for, because I like when they have to create new names.
Oh yeah, Maxine says because Maxine wants to help her pick a name. Yeah.
Mm-hmm. So because she can't be Impulse because Bart's running around. So, and of course trying to figure out what that name's gonna be. But I thought Thunderclap for Jay would be a good name too.
But he's the Surge.
He's already Surge, yeah. But just him yelling, "You get a Thunderclap! You get a Thunderclap!"
That was funny, but the thing that gets me about the name the Surge is that sometimes when I say it, it sounds like I'm saying Serge.
Yeah.
You know, like the character Beverly Hills Cop or the lead singer of System of a Down.
Yeah, that's what I immediately went for. Not just Serge, but because I forgot Serge was a character in Beverly Hills Cop.
Yeah, he's the
tech guy.
Well, he's actually he's like a clothes guy at first, I think.
At first,
because technically he's still doing clothes stuff in the third one, but he's also making like a gun that has a microwave in it for some reason.
Yeah, because it's silly.
Yeah. You don't say.
Yeah.
So I had a delightful time. I think the Flash book's not a must read, but if you want just a nice delightful Wally book with his family, I'm enjoying it for what it is.
Anyone who says that they missed Wally while Barry was in the book in the focus, you should be reading this, because we are getting some very good Wally moments.
Yeah. So what are you giving it, Matt?
I'm gonna go with the 7, so you said.
Yeah.
Because it's good. The Nahelpin's art's pretty decent too, but yeah, it's kind of just there. It's I don't want to call it hollow because that seems real harsh.
Maybe that does seem a bit harsh. But it's dessert. It's just dessert. Mm-hmm. You know. Yeah. Which is fine. If that's what it is, that's fine. So I actually really enjoyed it, but I'm only going to go with the 7 because of that.